All right, you guys, today we have a 1997 Jeep Cherokee. We'll show you around this SUV. Very good style to it. I love these wheels. It's got the nice classic green Jeep color here. I'll show you guys under the hood here. So this is a 4-liter straight six, makes 190 horsepower and 255 pound-feet of torque. So this is my buddy Trent's Jeep. Very kind of him to let me review this for you guys. But we'll get this thing out on the road here and see what it's made of. A little bit hard to get in because this thing is lifted, but we'll start it up here and see how it runs. This thing is modified. I'll put the modifications in the video. But yeah, you guys, pretty standard stuff in here. Nothing exactly luxurious. You get your very simple climate controls right here. So your temperature, your zones, and your fan speed right here. This is your defroster, and I believe this activates the rear wiper. We'll see if... yeah, okay. That's what that does. Turn signal stalks, wiper stalks, pretty standard stuff. Gauge cluster, you have your battery voltage, you have your fuel level, your tachometer, your speedometer, your oil pressure, and your engine temperature. So lots of information in the gauge cluster here. It's not electronic, but it's cool to look at. It's a nice change from all the modern cars with their fancy digital screens. This is very simple, very clean. So I'm definitely liking the look of this. This is your window switches over here, your window lock. Pretty self-explanatory, your power mirror controls. Yeah, you guys, this is your 4-wheel drive controls. So you have 2-wheel drive, your various 4-wheel drive modes, and your 4-low down here. So that's cool to look at. A little coin tray right there. We're gonna get this thing out on the road. We're gonna talk about it, see what it's made of. So we'll put it in drive. One thing I'm noticing is that you really have to like stand on the brakes to get this thing to stop. But that's just kind of how these old Jeeps were. You definitely feel these rocks right here. It's not the most luxurious experience, but it has a lot of character to it. I'm noticing right off the bat. Feels very rugged driving this car, for sure. You can definitely feel those 225 foot-pounds of torque when you're accelerating. You really don't have to like thrash this engine to get it up to speed. It's not like necessarily the fastest thing in the world, but you don't really have to thrash it to get it up to speed. It just kind of gets up and goes pretty well for what it is. For a 1997 Jeep, I really can't complain there. Definitely a bigger stopping distance than a modern car. You definitely need to plan your stops a little bit more, just because the brakes don't like bite down or respond quickly like a modern car does. It's pretty bouncy in here, pretty typical Jeep. And you definitely feel the bumps in this truck for sure. Every like pothole, every like sewer grate I drive over, I can definitely feel it. It's like bump bump. So I definitely, you can definitely feel the bumps. If you want something luxurious, buy a Lexus. Don't buy a 1997 Jeep Cherokee. If you want something that stands out, and if you want something that's definitely a conversation starter, this is definitely a good way to go. I'm liking just like the general character, the general aura of this car. It feels like special to drive, despite the fact that it's, you know, it's a little bit older, a little bit rugged, but definitely enjoying the overall experience that this Jeep provides. So I have good visibility. This high seeing position, I feel like I can just see everything. I can see right over the front hood just fine. These pillars are really thin. You can see around them just fine. The mirrors provide like good visibility and very clear view out of the back. So really can't complain with the visibility in this Jeep Cherokee. So this Jeep Cherokee has a 4-speed automatic, and we are going to test out how well it like kicks down here. So I'm gonna like put my foot into it a little bit. And yeah, it does like kick down like pretty quickly. I mean, I didn't have to go like full throttle for that. I only had to go like a little bit into it. So it seems to respond pretty well for a 4-speed. This Jeep Cherokee, it doesn't feel like particularly fast or anything. It doesn't feel like you're gonna start drag races in it, but it doesn't feel necessarily slow either. For the most part, I feel like I can easily keep up with traffic in this car. The steering, it definitely has like a good amount of play to it. I feel like I can kind of like move the steering wheel around like a good like inch or two on either side before anything really starts to happen. But it's not something that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting this to have like a super laser precise steering or anything like that. So, I mean, like I said, it's an older Jeep. It's not gonna steer like a new car. But like I said, a good amount of play in the steering wheel. But it provides really good feedback. You just like, you feel a lot of the road through the steering. It communicates well. And you just get like a good sense of the road that you're on. It doesn't necessarily give you like a precise image of where the front tires are. For a 1997 Jeep, it's all about managing expectations. So the throttle response in this Jeep Cherokee, it definitely responds quickly. This is like an older car, and it definitely feels like it's cable driven. So I like kind of like the crisp response of this accelerator. We're gonna take it around this little bend here. It doesn't inspire like a whole lot of confidence. You can definitely feel some like body lean a little bit, but it wasn't like as bad there as I thought it would be. You can definitely drive this at like normal speeds around a corner, I think, and it'll do fine. But you definitely don't feel like encouraged to like fly around corners in this. So can't really knock it too hard for that. This is a Jeep, not like a sports car. We'll talk about acceleration here. I'm not like thrashing it too hard, maybe a little bit, but seems to get up to speed fine. I got right up to 50 without any real problems. I'm not noticing this thing feeling like super slow or anything like that. So the acceleration is, it's decent, I would say. Really not too bad. Also, this 4-speed automatic, it seems to be pretty smooth shifting. I'm not really like feeling the shifts in this Jeep. So I think they did like a good job with the 4-speed automatic. If you want to like kick down and accelerate a little bit harder, I'm noticing I do have to put my foot into it like a little bit. Nothing too unusual there, but we're gonna try out this corner here. It's doing okay on this back road. I mean, like I said, not encouraged to fly around here, but I'm going like a pretty normal speed, like 40 miles an hour, and I'm not noticing this thing feeling like super dicey or super like unstable. It seems to do okay. The steering could definitely like communicate a little bit better. I kind of have to turn the wheel like a lot around the corner, and then when I exit the corner, you have to like kind of like fight the wheel back to center. It's not the most like responsive, but this old Jeep definitely has like a lot of character to it, has a lot of substance to it. So I'm still liking the overall feel, despite it not feeling like totally modern and totally new in like every aspect. Try out this other corner here. These brakes, as I said, you really kind of have to lean into them, and the ride quality, you definitely feel a lot of the bumps. I love the sound of this engine, this 4-liter straight six. This does have a Flowmaster muffler to it, so it's not the original muffler. That's why it sounds like a little bit cooler than like the standard straight six that you get in like a standard Jeep Cherokee. Try out this other bend here. Yeah, a little bit body lean. Definitely a little bit like clumsy in the handling. I wasn't expecting this thing to feel super flat in the corners. But yeah, overall it's very unique ride. Very cool experience getting to drive this. So we're gonna take it on the highway here and we'll see how it accelerates here just a little bit. It feels adequate. It's not necessarily fast. It does take a little bit of time to get to 60. And I don't really want to go faster than 60. I think this Jeep, it can do like 70, 75 comfortably. But in terms of like the highway ride, I wouldn't want to like go super fast on the highway in this. But it's doing decently right now. There is like some wind and road noise, as you'd expect with like an older car. We're gonna take this exit here. All right, we're gonna take it back on the highway here. Seems to respond pretty well to kickdowns. Definitely a little bit loud in here though, and a bit of a challenge keeping this Jeep like straight on the road. But you get used to it, and once you get used to it, this is a very communicative, very connected feeling car to drive. All right, you guys, that is the 1997 Jeep Cherokee. Definitely like driving it. It's definitely a very unique, very visceral experience driving this truck. So definitely it's not like the best handling. It doesn't have the smoothest ride quality to it, but it's definitely a cool conversation starter. It definitely gets you some looks on the road when you drive this thing. So if you're going after something with some personality and character and you're willing to sacrifice some modern luxuries, definitely this Jeep Cherokee is a really good way to go. All right, you guys, we're gonna shut it off here and we're gonna hop out. All right, thanks for watching, everyone.